so I can pass them over to you if you would like. But I was just reading the notes here. It looks like you guys are looking for a time and attendance solution.
That's correct. Yep. We do all of our payroll in-house, so we don't need a payroll solution.
Okay.
We need a attendance tracking clock.
Okay. And I see here that you're looking for maybe a piece of hardware, so a clock that will hang on the wall and employees can utilize maybe a pin or a fingerprint or maybe a proximity badge to punch in each day.
Yeah, we'd like it to do both the pin and have the option of the biometrics. Once, we're kind of in the not post-COVID, but maybe post-vaccine era of COVID.
Sure.
We'll probably get back to biometrics, but for now, we just want to utilize the pin, so we'd like to have the option of both.
Absolutely. We've got a clock that will do both, even allow you a third option, which would be a proximity badge. So you can turn on all three, or you can just use one of the two, whatever you prefer. It's
the only problem with the badges is the client that we're putting the clock at, we have turnover out there. So I wouldn't want to constantly have to issue badges. I would rather than be able to use a PIN to log in and out, last for a social or whatever.
Sure. The badges are, you can repurpose them. So if that ever becomes something that you would like, we can add those badges, and we do sell them. So, okay. So payroll's done in-house. Do you guys know what platform you utilize?
We use our staffing software to process payroll. We use Aviante.
Aviante, okay. And does that allow you to import data into the system?
What do you mean?
With the
time clock?
Yeah, so our system, you're able to consolidate your data, put it into a report, and then you can save that report in a CSV file or a number of other file formats. And a lot of times they're specific to the payroll software. So that way we export the data, save it in a format, and then open up Aviante and quickly import it. So no manual entry.
I would assume so. I mean, are you guys integrated with Aviante, or is that something I would need to ask them?
At this time, I don't believe we are integrated with Aviante, but that doesn't mean that we can't, import, export. So the word integration gets thrown around a lot, means a lot to different people. But to Swipeclock, an integration would mean our system can communicate with Aviante and automatically push the data over. So it's a sync. Some integrations allow payroll to push information back into our system. So for example, if you hired a new employee, you would enter that employee into Aviante, and it would be able to push that employee over into Timekeeping, and then you just fine tune, give them login credentials, and specify how you want that employee to use the system. So
yes, if we have that capability with the import export, it may need to be modified on the Aviante side until I can see, some of the reports and what it looks like.
Okay,
sure. I
think so.
Yeah, and we can help. So we have probably 1,000 different file formats. So if we don't have one readily available, we can create one for you.
Okay.
Okay. So before we jump into this, tell me a little bit about how you guys are currently collecting time from the employees. Are they punching a clock? Is there an approval process? Just kind of give me an idea of what you do now.
Yeah, Tess, I will let you answer that. It varies, just so you know, Nate, it does vary from customer to customer. It depends on what technology they have or utilizing or lack thereof sometimes.
Okay.
So it can be very manual. But Tessa, why don't you give them an idea of what you're seeing with Rainbow right now and what we want to go to?
Right now, what Rainbow is using is the supervisors are manually tracking the hours for us. That's why we need a time clock out there. So the employee will be responsible for clocking in and out themselves. And then the supervisor has to approve it before I can submit it to our payroll department for them to be paid.
Okay.
So it would have to be like a report that the supervisor, the HR manager would review, and then they would forward it, sign off on it, and say, yes, they actually worked these hours.
Okay. And what is your pay schedule? Is that happening weekly, bi-weekly?
Weekly.
Weekly, okay.
We run Monday through Sunday.
Monday through Sunday, okay. And I know that this question is probably dependent on the client, but do you have a specific employee type? Are they all hourly, part-time, full-time, any salary?
All hourly.
Yeah, they're all hourly.
All are hourly, okay. All right. So are you just looking for the one client, or will you have multiple clients further down the road?
Right now, it's just the one. Depending on how successful and easy and integrated this is, this could potentially add efficiencies back into our process on the back end. So
Okay.
this may be something that we utilize more down the road.
Okay.
But for right now, it's
just for the one. And just for my notes purposes, roughly how many clients do you guys serve?
Oh boy, between all 4 locations, I don't know, 60?
I was gonna say 50.
Yeah, 50 or 60.
Okay. Because inherently, Swipeclock started as a wholesale provider, and we would partner with staffing agencies, payroll providers, CPAs, and they would essentially resell our product to their clients. So you would get some discounted pricing there, and then you would serve as a partner. Now, you process payroll for all these clients?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So that is an option that we could look at down the road if that does interest you. There are a few different partnership levels, and pricing varies back and forth, but there's also a referral program, and you guys could simply refer clients to us, get a little kickback, but then we would handle the demonstrations like I'll do today for you. We handle the setups, the training, and then we even handle the monthly billing. So the other partnerships, we can do everything that I just mentioned besides the billing. You guys could bill your clients and then we would bill you, right? So just something to think about. Do you have any questions for me before we get started?
No, the only major question I have is we're going to have anywhere from maybe 40 to 75 employees at this one customer.
Okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong on that, Tessa, but I think that's about the range that we're looking at. If we have upwards of 60 to 75 employees there, is there going to be a requirement from Swipeclock that you do our payroll, or is there no threshold there?
No. So to be clear, Swipeclock does not offer payroll services.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Because
So,
there have been some that I've talked to, they're like, well, yeah, once you get over 50 employees, we require that we do your payroll. And I'm not interested in that at all.
Yeah, no. Yeah, Swipeclock does not offer any type of payroll processing. We will just handle all of the fun stuff leading up to payroll to help streamline and make everyone's lives easier as far as reporting and, having insight to what employees are doing. So how did you guys find us? Just looking online?
So it was online, but I was talking with, I can't even remember her name. but I think she worked with a company called Software Advice.
Software advice. Awesome. Yeah. Cool.
So I can't remember who I worked with there, but she gave me your name as well as several names of your competitors. So
Yeah. Let's see.
like I said, many of your competitors wanted to do my payroll, and I'm not interested in that. So I couldn't give them off that train. So
Sure. Let's see if I've got her name here. It's in here.
don't give her my name again, please, because I got way too many emails.
Right.
So,
I don't think she listed her name here. Okay, I was just curious. That's all. So,
okay.
Swipeclock has been around for over 20 years. We have kind of pioneered the online time and attendance platform, so we do it extremely well. Our system is not off the shelf, so we custom design it for each client, and that's different pay periods, different work weeks, different overtime rules, and we do more than just timekeeping. So down the road, if you guys needed any type of recruiting or onboarding or any type of scheduling, we can have a system where everything works together in one platform. Okay. Can everyone see my screen okay? Mouse wiggling around?
Yep.
Beautiful. Okay, let me change my screen. So first and foremost, we do sell hardware. The TimeWorks Touch Clock is our flagship model. It's the one we use internally simply because it's very user-friendly and it's redundant. So what that means is it's about the size of a little tablet. You can hang it on the wall, you can set it on a desk. It does need to be connected to the internet, so you can do that wirelessly, or you can do a hard connect with like an Ethernet or a power over Ethernet connection. It also has a battery backup. So should the clock or should your facility lose power, this clock will be able to remain powered up for a couple of hours and record those punches. Should this clock lose connectivity to the internet, it will still record punches and store them for 30 days. Once connected to the internet, it will automatically sync all of the punch data to your manager's portal automatically. Okay. Now, this clock is intelligent. So there are features here that will help the employees, one, stay on track, but also eliminate some of the common mistakes you see with your traditional clocks. So our system will recognize when employees are clocked in and remove that selection. So they can't clock in multiple times, they cannot clock out multiple times. We can also turn on more tracking features than just the in and out. So should you require your employees to clock in and out for lunches or breaks, we can turn on specialized buttons to allow them to, tell you if they're taking a lunch or a break. When managers or supervisors are reviewing time cards, they will see specifically when employees took breaks and lunches and for how long. The clocks can also gather information from employees. So think of job tracking or job costing. So this clock has what we call clock prompts. Okay. Now, I can't interact with this very much, so let me show you the web-based clock, but it's the same experience.
Regular EDOC, I think. I didn't assign them though. Sorry.
No, you're okay. So you'll notice here that the employee is already clocked in. So because it's intelligent, the system recognizes that, removes that option. So we can clock out for the day, or if we're tracking breaks or meals, we've got those buttons. Now, a clock prompt allows us to design custom questions to collect information from that employee. So this particular account, the employee needs to tell us what location they're at. They also need to tell me what task or what duty they're doing throughout the day. And then, of course, I've got my optionals here. So if there's an invoice number, type that in. If I need to record mileage or any type of tips, the employee can plug that in, and that information is going to be trackable not only for the employee, but visible on the employee time card. So with this particular client, is there any additional information that is required, or is it just simply clock in and clock out and we just want to know your hours?
Yeah, it's simply clock in, clock out. They, correct me if I'm wrong, Tessa, they do clock out for lunch, but not break. They don't?
Not at Rainbow. They are there, their shift would be like 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. and they're paid for the entire 8 hours. They do not clock in and out for lunch.
So it's just an in and out.
Okay.
Unless they leave the building, then they have to clock out, but they're paid for their lunch.
Okay. So we can remove these buttons. They won't even be visible. They will just see an in and an out only. Now, for lunches, we can do multiple different things. We can do auto deductions. So we can tell the system, hey, if an employee works more than 6 hours, automatically deduct 30 minutes for lunch. So that's
They're
an
not
option as
deducted lunch there.
well. Say that one more time, I'm sorry.
They're not deducted for their lunch there. They're there for 8 hours. They're paid for the 8 hours. They don't deduct them for anything.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just an option. So keep in mind that we will custom design this account. Okay.
Okay.
Every way, shape, and form. And it's not set in stone. So I would say 9 out of 10 clients that I sign up, we will set up their clocks, their systems one way. And in 6 months, they'll call us back and say, hey, we need this feature turned on and that feature turned on. And there's no charge to do that. So should you ever want to start tracking lunches or breaks, or if we do need to collect information, it's possible. You just let us know and we turn it on. Okay.
So does it have the option, like, say someone goes into work at 6 a.m. and they have to leave at 8 to go to an appointment and they clock out, they're gone for a couple hours and come back. Does it allow them to clock back in
Absolutely.
for the remainder of the shift?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So they can clock in and out as many times throughout the day as you would like. It's just going to see, you're just going to see more line items on their time card. You're going to see an in and out, in and out, in and out, right? And then there's a column that will show you the total hours for that in and out section. And then of course it will automatically tell you how many hours they worked for the day, for the week, and then for the pay period itself.
Okay.
Okay. I saw on your website that your employees have a portal. Is that true?
Yep.
Okay. What do they do in that portal?
They can view their pay stubs. They can update their address, their phone numbers. What else, Ashley? What am I forgetting?
They fill out their taxes and their I-9 and
Okay.
their policies and procedures.
So it's an HR portal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's through Aviante.
Awesome. Okay. So our system also has an employee portal, and that is optional if you give them access to it or not. They can access it on a mobile phone, or they can access it through a browser, so a computer or a tablet. Now, in that portal, we can enable a web clock. So if employees use a computer, you can allow each employee to clock in through their own computer. We can restrict it by IP address. It can be used in conjunction with the clock. So we can use multiple clocks to record our time. If we just
have that function as well, so that's probably, and correct me if I'm wrong, that we probably wouldn't be interested in that aspect of the.
This
We are
particular client has already said no access outside of clocking in and out of the building.
Right.
He
Okay.
does not want them having web access.
Okay.
Yep.
So we would disable that clock so they can only use the hardware.
Okay.
In this
Yes.
portal, though, they will have access to their own time card, just for visibility, right? So they can keep track of their hours. There's the ability to send managers notes. So if they make a mistake, if they leave early, they can keep their supervisors or managers informed. Okay. Now, some clients, they want employees to log their own time, manually enter it. So there is an option to enable the edit tool that would allow employees to either enter in their own time, or if they make a mistake, correct it themselves.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we wouldn't want that for sure on this client, but good to know down
Most don't. Yeah, most don't. You know, if you make a mistake, cool, you'll be able to see it in here. Just send your supervisor a note, and then they have to fix it. That's the most common.
Yeah, the only override we would want is to allow Tessa to go in and add a punch if it's missed or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So in your manager's portal where all the hours pool together and you can review each employee timesheet, managers have complete edit rights. So they can add entries, they can edit entries, fix mistakes, you name it. And the system,
would we be able to add Tessa and maybe up to 3 or 4 supervisors at the manufacturing facility as managers, or no?
yes. So
Okay.
our system, you do have different levels of logins. You've got the admin, which has complete rights, so they can see all the employees, they can run all the reports, they can add employees, they can deactivate employees. You can then create supervisor logins, and you can pick and choose what those supervisors can do. So if you want to assign them a department or a group of employees to manage, that's all they can see. Okay, so you're in complete control there. And there is no charge to adding a supervisor, and they can run reports, edit time cards. There's only charges if we're tracking time. So if you've got a manager who's salaried, he's not punching a clock, he can still have access into the system, and there's no charge for him to work in there.
Okay, good.
Okay. So the time card, it's going to keep track of all the hours. They can switch pay periods up here, and it's going to keep track of their hours for the day, for the week, and then down at the bottom, everything is totaled out for them. And of course, we tell the system, what's overtime. We'll separate that out. We learn what your vacation or your holiday rules are. We put those in here so that everything is automated and separated out when you're running those reports and sending it over to Aviante.
So down there, I see you have accrual balances.
Yeah.
You have PTO. Is that customizable as well?
Yes, it is one of our best capabilities. So in their portal,
we have a fantastic law that got passed. It's called PMLA.
okay,
Like FMLA, you accrue 1 hour for every 30 hours you work.
1 hour for every 30. Okay, sure, not a problem.
But that would be something that we could accrue in that down there.
Absolutely. So I just clicked on the time off tab. So employees have visibility in their portal to their time off. And this is just an example. So you'll notice that I've got all these different buckets that I've created. That is up to you. You can create as many buckets as you would like. And each bucket can have its own custom policy on how it accrues hours.
Okay.
Okay. So we could plug 40 hours into sick, and it will sit there, and if employees need to take time, as they take it, it will deduct automatically. Versus
So
like
if we had a PMLA bucket that we created, would it automatically track, would it add an hour into that bucket for every 30 hours that they work?
Yes, it will.
I have that set up in Aviante already.
Oh, you do?
So I don't know if we need it.
Oh, okay, got it.
I mean, vacation would be nice though, because I don't have those set up, but
Okay.
the PMLA is set up as accruals.
Okay, awesome. All right.
And we only want to track accruals and PTO in one system to eliminate confusion.
Right.
If it's done in your payroll software, that's great. I'm sure it shows on their check stubs or maybe in their HR portal. The only downside to not tracking it in timekeeping is the manual entry that is needed to add it to the time card. So for example, if I'm an employee, I come in here, I request time off, I select the day that I want off, I select which bucket I want to pull those hours from, and then I define how many hours I want, and then I can leave a note. Once I submit this request, my manager is sent an email letting him know that he's got an approval or he's got a PTO request. Once he approves that, it's going to fall into the approved section for employees to see, but it's also going to populate on their time card automatically. and it's going to populate in the manager's portal automatically with the correct amount of hours.
Okay.
When you run reports for this particular pay period, it's going to show, yep, he worked 62 hours regular pay, and then he took 8 hours of vacation. That's the benefit, is it's all automatically populated. If you keep it in Aviante,
If it's not in there, we just need to manually put in the vacation time.
correct. You've got to go find the employee time card, find the date, plug in the vacation, select which bucket, and then plug in the hours. That's the only downside. Okay. So that is the employee experience. You can turn on like an approve button on their time card. Now, this does not stop you or prevent you from running reports or finalizing payroll. It's simply just a tool to help keep everyone on the same page, in the know, and cut down on those discrepancies that sometimes happen with pay. So what will happen is when the employees approve their time card or digitally sign off, this approval column is going to populate with a green arrow on the employee side. So now the employee has told management, I approve of my total hours worked for this pay period. On the manager's side, there's a little icon that will turn from yellow to green. So when a supervisor is reviewing their time card and getting ready to sign off on it, he can see that the employee agrees with the hours worked. He can then go in there and approve it as well. If the employee forgets, not a problem. Supervisor can still review time card and approve it as a supervisor. So we don't need to have the time cards approved. It's just a helpful tool.
Okay.
Okay. That's it for the employee side. So everything that we looked at, they can do on a mobile phone. Okay. So we just give them login credentials.
Is that web-based or is that app?
This is app-based. Okay. So if you want employees to clock in and out through their phone, cool, it's there, it's open, you can turn it on or off. So for this client, you turn it off. So all they can do on their mobile phone is check their time cards, send you notes, approve it, or they could pull out their phone while sitting on the couch, check their PTO, and submit a time off request. Okay, and then our system does send push notifications. So the manager will receive a push notification, and then once it's approved or declined, so will the employee.
Okay.
Okay. Any questions?
I don't think so. I don't see them using this a whole lot, but just for my own curiosity, if they do have the app and the manager changes their schedule, would they get a push notification of that?
Yes and no. So right now we're simply just looking at timekeeping. Mm-hmm. If we introduce scheduling, the answer is yes. So there is a schedule tab on their mobile phone, as well as online in their portal, and it will show the employee schedule. From here, there are visibility or interaction rights. So they can check what they're working, they can look at the details, see what shift, what group, any additional tasks or duties that need to be performed. They also have the ability to drop the shift or swap the shift. But all that does is just, it submits a request to their manager. Their manager has to approve the drop or the swap shift. If there's no manager approval, they're still responsible for that shift, right? We don't want people saying, oh, I don't feel like working Friday night. I'm just going to drop it and I'm good to go. Nope.
Yeah.
Got to be approved.
Okay. All right. I was just curious.
Yeah. So those are just more features that we can add on to timekeeping, right? If you need the scheduling, yeah, we've got an extremely basic scheduler where it mainly just prevents employees from clocking in early. So I could set a threshold on this clock here that's hanging on the wall that says, okay, your shift starts at 4. If you come in at 3:30, that's too early. I'm not going to let you clock in. The soonest I'm going to allow anyone to clock in before their shift is maybe 5 minutes or 10 minutes. I don't want employees padding their time cards, right? 10 minutes per employee per day, 60 employees, that's thousands of dollars, right? Every year. So we can prevent that.
Does it allow you to override that if they're called in early?
Yes, but it has to be turned off by management first.
Okay.
Okay. And then, of course, we have a more intelligent scheduling program, which is a shift-based. So basically, we just create blocks of shifts. We can drag and drop or populate those under employees, and then they can turn on notifications. So we can give them interaction rights to their schedule, and they can actually click into that program, and they can see their schedule for as far out as you've created it, a month, a year. They can come to their settings and they can update their notifications. So we do text and emails. So once my schedule's been created and published, send me a text. If my manager changes anything and it affects my schedule, send me a text. Or send me a reminder if I'm 15 minutes late. Send me a reminder, say, hey, did you forget that you were supposed to clock in today? At the same time, we're going to notify the manager. So in case it's a no call, no show, he can quickly find a replacement. Okay. So all features that we can turn on down the road, right? Up to you. Okay. So let me switch gears here and show you the manager's portal. So again, this is cloud-based. You can access it from anywhere. You can be at the office, you can be at a beach in Hawaii, pull out your laptop and see real-time information. On the left is your navigation menu, and through the center are just quick links. So who's clocked in, if there are any missing punches, so on and so forth. Now over on the left, there's a few areas that you'll spend your time in. Now when we designed this, we didn't want people spending hours in here, right? So time off requests, if you decide to use our system for that, will populate in here. And there's a reference calendar so you can see what days employees have off. And then of course, when those requests come through, they're just going to populate in here with all the information managers need to make a decision. Who, what, when, where, why, how. Quickly approve or decline, and then everyone's notified by emails. Each employee has a setup or a profile, and this is something that we will help you with. So we will design your account for you. We do all the legwork. But in here, we define the employees. We give them access to the portal. We assign them a PIN entry. And then we decide what clocks they want to use. So if you ever did want to turn on mobile or the browser-based clock for even a week, you can come into the employee and just turn it on and then turn it off when you're done. The GPS tagging is designed for the mobile app. So again, if you ever wanted that, when employees are out in the field and they punch through their mobile app, we're going to record their location so we know where they're at. The data fields down here are all used for tracking and reporting capabilities within the system, as well as classifying employees should we want to introduce an intelligent scheduling program. So we can create groups of employees, we can define them, assign them to a supervisor, and then of course, if I click on my reports menu over here on the left, you get about 19 standard reports. And I can filter any one of these reports to find specific information about a group of employees or a location, so on and so forth. Most of your time will be spent in the time card section. And that's just simply reviewing the time cards when you're ready to process payroll. So you've got a few different views here. You can look at today's entries and see real-time information when employees are clocking in or out. I can hover over each entry and it will give me information, real-time information. So the system is transparent. So if I've got multiple supervisors working in the system and one comes in here and edits a time, I can leave a comment as to why. Arrived late. And then any other supervisor will be able to hover over that and see information as well as the edit. Okay, so really our main goal is just to click either the current period or the previous pay period. It's going to give us a list of employees. And we give you this menu here to quickly identify if an employee time card has a mistake. So when their names are in blue, everyone's time card is good to go. If there's a mistake on anyone's time card, let me create a mistake real quick. A couple of things are going to happen. It's going to stand out in big red bold, but also you'll notice over here that their name is red. So this first column will tell me how many missing punches that employee has, or how many edits I'm performing on a particular time card. And then of course I've got the approval column here. Okay. So if I need to edit or add a column, I just select what I want to do and I can log in the time. I can leave a note, but also I can change all these different categories if I need to. So if I need to add a vacation day, that's exactly what I would do, is just add it, add a vacation day, put the hours in, and save it. Extremely simple. Once everyone's time card is accurate, ready to go, let me save this real quick. So his name will turn blue. Then what I want to do is I just come to my main menu and I scroll down to my reports menu. And if I simply just want to get a summary report of hours worked for a specific date, I've got my summary report down here. I select my date range or plug in a custom, and then I can select from a specific group of employees or I can view them all, and this will just throw everybody into one consolidated report, and it will show me the regular hours, any overtime, holidays, vacation, etc. From here, I can print it up at the top. I can export it to an Excel spreadsheet, or I can simply save it in a number of different formats. So if we can find out what Aviante, what type of format they use so that we can make sure that the columns and headers align, then I simply just save this report in that specific format, right? And then from there, I just email it over to the payroll manager and they can quickly import it into Aviante. So no manual entry. And that's the system, guys. Extremely simple.
Awesome. Do you have any questions?
I don't.
No, I think you answered all of our questions,
Yeah.
Nate.
Beautiful.
Well, all except pricing.
Pricing is the easy part. It's a month to month, no annual contracts. You're looking at just a cost per employee. You're $4 each month. And then you've just got a one-time implementation and training cost, and that will vary depending on the custom options that you want. So if we don't need PTO tracking, there's no outside the normal overtime rules or shift differentials. You're about $200 one-time setup fee. It includes training and ongoing support. If you wanted to add custom PTO tracking, maybe you've got custom overtime rules, you're closer to the $400 one-time fee, implementation, training, and ongoing support.
Okay.
Okay.
And you said $4 per employee?
$4 per employee per month. That's for timekeeping. If you wanted to add the intelligent scheduling and have both systems together, you'd be looking at $6 per employee per month. Did you want me to kind of do a quick run through of the scheduling program for you?
Not right now.
Our
No.
schedules are pretty standard.
Pretty standard?
Yeah, I don't think we need that now, but I was just asking for future reference if we end up getting a client that's much more complex than Rainbow.
Okay.
Then we may want that, like, maybe we have, I mean, like if Margarita did that, we have several locations for one of our customers and different shifts and things like that. So it may come in to be advantageous at that point, but for
Okay.
Rainbow, I don't think we need that. So we would definitely start off at the $4 per employee range.
Sounds good. And keep in mind, guys, so this system is very agile, very robust. It can be as simple as, Mr. Employee, use the clock in and out, and then I'm going to run a report and submit hours. But like you just mentioned, if you've got clients that have more sophisticated needs, job costing, crazy scheduling, or even crazy PTO tracking, right? I've seen some crazy policies. I've never seen one that we can't handle. So
Okay.
we can. Yeah, go ahead.
Are those costs? Are you able to do those costs per our customer? So like, if Rainbow is very simple and we wanted to stay at the $4 per employee there, but we had another complex customer over here, so just for that customer, you charge us $6 per employee?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
really think that we or you would want to consider becoming a partner if you've got more than one client. Because when you become a partner, one, you'll get wholesale pricing, and then we bill you at the wholesale rate, and then you can turn around and mark that pricing up and recoup that cost and even make a little additional for these clients. When you're a partner, you will have access into a partner portal. Okay, so we're just looking at like a single account right now. So this would be your account, you're the admin, right? It's your company. But when you're a partner, let me log out here. Come on. All right, what's going on? There we go. When you log in as a partner, you will have what we call a client list. So this would be the login access. It's the same whether you're a partner or just a traditional client. We just change your login credentials. But when you log in, you're going to have this selectable menu client list. And that's just going to show, when you select that, all of your clients that are underneath your account.
Yeah.
And you as the partner have full access.
Yeah, so in that model, the time clock is our clients and not ours, correct?
That's completely up to you, and that's a very good question. So when you become the partner, we bill you for everything. So for Rainbow, for example, if you were a partner, you would order them their clocks, you would pay for it up front, and then it's up to you what you want to do. You could lease it to them and charge them $100 a month. If they were to ever cancel the services, you can go and get the clock back and repurpose it for another client. Or you could simply say, hey, this clock is, $900. You pay for it one time and it's your clock.
Sure.
So you've got a lot of flexibility when you become the partner.
Okay, I think to begin with, we will not do that, but that's interesting. I assume that we could pivot to that if we needed to.
Absolutely, yeah. And there's no sign-up fee to become a partner, but there will be minimum billings. And we put those minimum billings in place for your protection, so that way you're covering those base fees the more clients that you sign up. And those range from like $45 a month to $200 a month, just depending on what partnership option you want to go with.
Okay.
Right.
And I can't remember if you told me this or if I knew this at one point before this call. Where are you guys based out of?
We are in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Salt Lake City, Utah.
Yeah.
I've been there. I've visited the Mormon Tabernacle.
Oh, really? Are you LDS?
No, I'm not, but
No?
I was there spring skiing with my family, and when I was a kid.
It's beautiful out here.
So it is. It's gorgeous. I love out west.
Yeah, if you guys like outdoors, camping, skiing, biking, we've got snow, and then you can travel 3 hours south and get to the Red Rock and never see snow again.
So there's Salt Lake City there, and then there's another. I mean, not Salt Lake City, but there's Salt Lake, and then there's another lake right there, I think, right?
Oh, there's a bunch of
No.
lakes. Yeah, so you've got Utah Lake, you've got Jordanelle, you've got Echo. So those are
Okay.
reservoirs, but the Great Salt Lake's the
Yeah.
biggest one, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. Well, do you guys have any other questions?
I don't.
Okay. So Nate, I assume I have your contact information already.
Yeah, so
Um,
to give you an idea of next steps and timeline, what I will do is I will prepare a DocuSign cost proposal, and I will
Mhm.
send that over to you. With our billing, because it's based off of usage, we like to establish a floor. So if I have 50 employees, but sometimes I fall down to 45, we like to set the billing at 40. So that way you've got flexibility.
Sure.
So for Rainbow, what would be a good floor? 50, 40,
Currently,
No,
right now, we have 25 to 30.
20?
It will
Okay.
increase later, but that's our standard right now, from 25 to 30.
Okay.
So we want to set the floor maybe like 20. And just so you know, with this customer, we're in over the next month, we'll be probably doubling the size of
Right.
our employees.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, setting the floor at like 20 would probably be a good idea, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. So that just means that
To start.
your minimum billing will never fall below 20 employees, but you can add 400, doesn't matter. You're just going to
Okay.
see that $4 increase because we bill in arrears. So if you started August 1st,
Right.
your first invoice would not show up until September 1st, and you would be billed for how many employees used it in August.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Okay. So
Okay. So is there ever so we're billed per person that uses that time clock. So if I have someone that goes in and works 10 minutes and walks off the job, we're billed for that person.
yes. Doesn't matter if they clock in once or 1,000 times in that month. $4.
It's just $4.
$4. Correct. Do you guys have a high churn rate where that could become an issue?
Rainbow
We
has a
did-
big black hole that people fall in and never resurface.
Okay.
It's not as bad as it used to be, but we do have some that will go in and then they disappear.
Sure.
So
Okay.
But
Well,
we do have some people that we put on assignment and then they just never show up. Is this something that maybe we
I won't
don't
be
add?
putting them in the clock until they have actually arrived their first shift.
That's what I'm saying. And I'm wondering if we don't add them until their second week.
And
maybe-
at least till they make it through their first shift, because
And maybe that's what we do is we don't add them until the third day of their shift, and that way you can manually put in their first 2 or 3 days, and then they can finish the week that
yeah.
way.
it's
We can do something like that.
it's funny that you should mention that. So I worked for this company one time that was in the same boat, right? They used a system like this, and they had a high churn rate. So what they did is in their agreement or their employee application, they put that if during their first 30 days, if they were to leave, they're responsible for some of the bills that had accrued. So they would be, we would still pay them for that 30 days, but they would deduct like $4 for this or $10 for the company handbook they were issued.
That's
Right.
a thought.
Yeah. Not a bad
All
idea,
right.
right? But
Yeah.
you guys are in control. So to set up a new employee is real simple. You just put in first name, last name. The employee code will come from payroll. So we don't use names, we use codes. The start date lets the system know they're active. But if there is no activity on their time card, there's no charge. So I can have
Okay.
active employees in here, but there's no activity on their time card, so we're not being billed. When somebody leaves, we want to immediately come in and put in a separation date. And that's going to deactivate all their logins, and it's going to tell the system when we refresh our billing or our pay schedule, that employee is no longer going to show up in my active list.
Yeah.
Now, 2 months go by, that employee pops back, and for whatever reason, you give them a second chance. I don't have to create a new profile. I can come in here and change the start date, remove the separation date, give him new login credentials, and he's active. Okay? But it's not until he punches a clock and there's activity on the time card.
Okay.
That's what generates the cost, right? And there's 3 ways that you generate activity on a time card. You're punching a clock, we introduce a schedule over here on the right, or we're tracking PTO.
Okay.
Okay? What else? Okay, so to give you guys an idea, I'll prepare the DocuSign, I'll send that over to you, sign it, get it back to me. From there, I will send you an Excel spreadsheet to gather a list of all your employee names, just basic information. Once I get that back, I submit you to my Implement team. You will be assigned a dedicated rep that will contact you within the first 24 hours and schedule a kickoff call. That kickoff call is designed to review the bare necessities of your company. Time zone, work weeks, pay schedules, overtime rules, everything. So we can build it. We'll take the next 2 or 3 days, we'll build your account, and then we will schedule a training with you and your staff members, management. And we're going to do a training in your own environment. So you're going to see your own employees, and we're going to give you login credentials. And then once the training is complete, we pick a day and we roll it out. Once it's rolled out, we will be there by your side weekly in our customer excellence program, checking in, answering questions. If we need to fine tune any of the rules, then we can handle all of that. Okay? And then moving forward, you have a help and support in your manager's portal. And you've got a support center, so you can give us a call or you can submit a ticket. But you've also got this online searchable library that has instructions, videos, handouts that are management facing or employee facing. So you hire a new employee, you come in here, you find the video for the intelligent clock, you send it to them, they know how to use the clock. I go and I find the video for the portal, I send them information, and now they understand how to use their employee portal. Extremely simple. Okay, from the time I submit you
From
to
the time that build the list, the initial list, and you give it to the Implant team, from that time to when we receive the hardware clock, what's that time frame?
7 to 10 business days normally.
Okay.
Okay, so on the DocuSign, it will ask for either a credit card or ACH. And then my colleague Laura will contact you and she'll order the clock right away. Those ship out same or next day via FedEx, so they'll arrive in 3-4 business days. They are plug and play right out of the box. Okay. Once we get your back-end account built here, this clock will automatically recognize that an account's built. You select it from a drop-down menu. You're good to go. Okay. From there, if you're just using the PIN entry, under the employee setup, we assign the PIN entry.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
If if and when you decide to use the biometrics, each employee will have to select which finger they want to use. And then they, just like a brand new phone that uses the fingerprint, they just need to register that fingerprint.
Okay.
Okay. And then towards the end of this year, this clock will have facial recognition if you guys want it, I think.
All right. Well, if we're not wearing masks.
Right.
Shoot. Oh, have you guys ever experienced a hack on any of these?
Never.
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 Okay.
So we store everything here locally. We've got redundant server farms and backup server farms. We do release automatic updates. When that does take place, we're talking, wee hours of the night. The system may be unaccessible for a minute or two, but other than that, no breaches.
Okay. Do you know how often that data is backed up?
I think every day.
Every day. Okay. That's
Every
typical.
day. Yeah. I mean,
okay.
we have over 1 million employees clocking in and out each and every day. So,
Okay.
yeah,
All
we're prepared for all of that. Okay. What else? So as far as the pricing goes, what are you guys thinking in terms of PTO? You want to keep it in Aviante?
Initially,
we don't have that here anyway, so.
Yeah. So no PTO tracking? Okay.
Well, yeah. We keep it in Aviante right now.
Okay. So it sounds like we're just going to do a pretty basic setup. How many clocks do you guys feel you will need?
We just need one. He wants it at the employee entrance, and he just wants the one. And basically it will be pretty standard. They clock in once, they clock out once, unless they leave for an appointment.
Okay. Sounds
Their
good.
schedules are standard, so I don't need scheduling. They know their schedule when they leave my office.
Okay. So included in the $4 is a basic scheduler. Okay. Now, you can enable that for two reasons. The first one will be to have this feature. Let me show you real quick. Mr. Phil Collins is going to try and pull a fast one on me today. Nope, he's not. Okay. That's the first reason to introduce the basic scheduler. Tell the system when to allow employees to clock in. The second reason to enable that is to have an alerts column on the time card. And that will show you the deviation of a schedule. So if somebody arrives early, if they are late, or if they're absent, we're going to have a deviation. And I can run a report on that deviation. So if I want to see for the last month which of my employees is not following their schedule, I can run a report and see each time the employee deviated from their 8 to 5 or whatever schedule. Okay. To create that is extremely simple. We just go into the scheduling tab and I just select which employees I want to work with and I create their block of time. So this group, everyone works 8 to 5. I'm going to label that 8 to 5 and I'm going to apply it to all those employees. Once I do that, it'll show on their time card over here. Let me shrink this down.
Is this still in the $4 per employee model?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
When you jump up to the $6 price range, you're looking at the more intelligent scheduling program, and you're going to have text messages, notifications, certification tracking, you name it.
Okay. Yeah, to begin with, we'll definitely want the $4 model.
Okay. Now, traditionally, we do work directly with the clients. Is that an option here to work with the point of contact at Rainbow to learn all of their needs, or will we work directly with you guys?
It'll be directly with us. I mean, you could talk to the HR manager out there,
Okay.
but pretty much I get an email from him saying, I need this, this, and this on this shift, and this shift, and we take over. They're our associates until they go full-time with him. When they go full-time with him, he has his own time clock.
Okay. If you feel confident that we can get this set up and you know all of their needs, great. When it comes to training,
he just wants something to track their time so his supervisors don't have to manually write it down.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, this will be a breeze for them. I'll let you guys decide how you want to train. We can train you. We do record it, and then you could train them, or we could train them directly. I'll leave that up to you guys, and that can be discussed with the implementation rep as well.
Okay.
Just for my own sanity here, do you guys have a timeline or a date that you're hoping to get a system up and running?
Yeah, I mean, we're looking to do this ASAP.
ASAP. Okay. Well, let me get you some pricing. And then if you guys want to move forward, sign the DocuSign. Again, you're not agreeing to a 3-year or a 1-year term. You're just agreeing to the minimum billing, which I'll set at 20, and then the one-time charges of the setup and the clocks. That's it.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's really a month-to-month thing.
Month to month. Cancel at any time. No obligation.
Okay.
Okay. All right,
Sounds
guys.
good.
If you have any other questions, let me know. I did record this, so if you'd like a copy, I can send that over. Just let me know what you need.
Yeah, you can send over a copy of this recording as well.
Okay, I will do that. And I appreciate your time, and I look forward to working with you guys.
All right, thanks, Nate.
Okay, have a good day, guys.
Bye.
Bye.